I'm very picky about my home gym equipment, but there are 3 pieces of equipment that are worth their weight in gold and you should definitely consider having in your home gym. What's up everyone, Jason Brown here, the King of Programming. Today we're talking about 3 pieces of equipment that are a must-have for any home gym. Now, I wanna preface this video by saying these 3 pieces of equipment are more expensive. But if you're investing in your home gym, these are pieces of equipment you will have forever. It will be worth their weight in gold, that I can promise you. So the first thing, to get right into it, is one specialty bar. As you guys can see, I've got a lot of specialty bars, and believe it or not, I have more over there, but we're gonna talk about these ones specifically for today. Specialty bars, why would we wanna have one? Number one, it allows us to train more efficiently. It allows us to train around injury. It allows us to do different things that we wouldn't normally be able to do with just a straight bar. And I think one of the most important things with specialty bars is that it allows us to potentially keep nagging aches and pains at bay. Good example, trap bar. I know a lot of people that have issues deadlifting with a straight bar. Maybe it's a mobility issue, maybe they're not able to get into a good position. Whatever the case may be, I tend to see a lot of people do better with a trap bar. So I do recommend a trap bar for those people that might have some issues with a straight bar. This particular trap bar is from Rep Fitness. I don't have an affiliate code, but it's a phenomenal bar. I love this bar. It's open. It allows me to do some single leg stuff with it. I'm a little bit more versatile. So if that is you, and maybe the straight bar is a thing that you just can't train with anymore, you might want to consider grabbing a trap bar. And of course, you don't have to grab this one. You can grab one on Amazon for, I think, under a couple $100. So very, very effective piece of equipment to use, especially if, again, low back issues are a thing for you. Being able to train the hinge pattern with some load, trap bar is a great way to do it. Now, some other options, neutral grip bars. You can see I've got several of them. I've got a neutral grip bar here from American Barbell. I've got a Swiss bar or a football bar from Rogue Fitness. Those are great bars to have to change the positioning of where you're pressing from. So it allows a lot of people to keep the shoulder, the glenohumeral joint, in a better position upon pressing. So if you're someone that benches and gets flared up, shoulders start bothering you, this might be a good bar to have. Moving on, this one in the back, safety squat bar. Most people know about the safety squat bar, and I know that a lot of people that have home gyms that I work with have invested in this bar. Why? Well, number one, I have guys, old school meatheads, that can't get into good position with the back squat as far as getting their hands on the bar position and creating some tension. It tends to flare up, some shoulder issues, just getting into that level of external rotation. The safety bar brings that in front and allows us to train without having to get into that position that I just mentioned. So that's one of the advantages of it. You can front squat with this bar. You can actually press with this bar. Believe it or not, I press with that bar from time to time and do things like extensions with it. So it's a really versatile bar. Now, whatever bar you choose, you don't need to get all these bars like I have. I have problems with bars. So, don't use me as the example, but the main thing is that I have seen of working with thousands of people is that they can benefit from having at least one specialty bar. And as I mentioned, if you're serious about training and you don't want to flare up some aches and pains, or maybe you just want to train a little bit different way, all these bars actually offer different training abilities to train, with different variations. So not only is it a good tool, but it allows us to bring some novelty into our program design. For that reason, I would invest in one specialty bar, and maybe over time you add another bar, but you don't need to go hog wild like I have here. I will say, just in my own defense, I have accumulated bars over time. So I didn't have all these bars from the beginning. Well, actually, did I have all these bars? I've had a lot of bars for a long period of time. So needless to say, I like different bars. But as I've gotten older and I've gotten more simple with my programming, the bars that I really lean on are my trap bar, my football bar, safety squat bar. Believe it or not, I don't use as much as I used to, but these bars for me are things that had a lot of effect on my ability to train pain-free and obviously continue to make gains. If you're an experienced everyday athlete and you're looking for the best training on planet Earth, check out my 3 training subscriptions. A 7-day free trial link is in the description. My next piece of must-have home gym equipment is at least one piece of cardio equipment. I'll be honest with you guys, I made room for having 3 pieces. I used to have a T-bar row that took up this corner, and I sold the T-bar row and replaced it with an air runner. And some of you might think, oh, that's crazy, a T-bar row is a great piece of equipment. And I would agree with you, but what's more important to me is my heart health. And having the ability to get on an air runner and do some jogging, to incorporate that into my aerobic conditioning has made a huge difference in my ability to recover between sessions. I've got an air runner, I've got an air bike, I've also got a ski erg. You don't need to have all three, but if you have at least one piece, it allows you to incorporate more aerobic training, more zone 2 work into your program design. Now, the reason I have three is because I use all three. So everything in this home gym space are things that I use. Nothing in here, it just sits and collects dust, everything gets used. But because I have three pieces, it makes it a little bit easier to do 60 minutes of zone 2 work and mix and match these three pieces. If you only have one, you can still get it done. You can still mix in some other elements, things like jumping rope, things like maybe getting outside and going for a jog, mix that in with an air bike. But having one piece is going to allow you to improve the aerobic system, improve heart health, improve your ability to live longer. Like, that's more important than getting swole, guys. I hate to say it, but it's more important. But not only that, it will help you get more swole. It will help you improve your ability to recover between sessions. So invest in one piece of cardio equipment. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with the air bike. But that's really up to you, how you guys want to go about it. I think that get one piece and then maybe down the road you get another. These are things that are incredibly important. Remember, it's not just about getting strong, getting big and strong. It's also about recovering. It's also about being healthy. These are pieces of equipment that will just be an incredible return on investment for you. I would highly recommend having at least one of these. If you're like me and love optimizing your health and performance, love cookies and tacos, subscribe to my once weekly newsletter, EVOLV. There's zero pressure, zero spamming to join, and a lot of value to gain. And as a special thank you, I'll send you a discount code to any of my training subscriptions. The link is in the description. See you on the inside. All right, our third and final piece of must-have home gym equipment is a sled. Now, I've got the Torque Sled. I absolutely love this piece of equipment. I got it not too long ago. It is so versatile. It allows us to obviously push a sled on any type of surface. There's resistance built into it. A lot of versatility with this. You've got a strap here to do some upper body work. Things like rows and presses are very easily executed with this. But of course, you could go with something not as expensive, like just a simple drag sled, which you can get for about $100. So the benefits of sled work are understated. We can train all three energy systems with a sled, our anaerobic systems as well as our aerobic system. We can train the lower body, the upper body. You can build strength. There's no axial loading. This is a tool that will do it all for you. And again, as I alluded to with our piece of cardio equipment, this will help you improve health. It's not gonna beat you up. It's not gonna break you down. It's gonna allow you to build all qualities of fitness if you want to, and not a whole lot of money either. So if you grab a drag sled, do all those things I mentioned. If you go a step further, something like the Torque Sled, again, it's an investment. You will never lose on this investment. This is a piece of equipment I will likely use forever. Everything I mentioned here are things that I will use forever. As far as I'm concerned right now, I'll use this stuff forever. And I think that some of the times people object to getting a drag sled because they're pulling it on the pavement. They don't want to scratch up the ground. I don't think that's an issue with this. I will say I've been dragging a sled for like almost my whole life. So like 2 decades at least of dragging a sled, and I've never seen any issue on the surface. However, it is kind of loud. So if you have neighbors and they hear that stuff, then you might want to, invest in the Torque Sled. But remember, the sled allows us to do a lot. And if you're thinking about, your program design as a whole, think about your main strength sessions. Think about the days in between. What do we do? This is a great tool to build work capacity and bridge the gap between those sessions. It's also a tool that you can use on those main sessions. You can plug this stuff into the end of your session and do some heavier work with it. So I can't tell you guys enough how much I love the sled. And I think that, everything I mentioned here today are things that you're probably not gonna hear other people talking about. They're a little bit against the grain, if you will, but these are things that have really made the difference for myself and the people I work with, people that use my training subscriptions have invested in these things. And the best part is with a home gym is that you don't have to do it all at once. Just grab some of these things over time, slowly build your garage gym space. You'll never lose on this stuff. You can never lose on investing in your health and your fitness. All right, guys, that's it for today. What is your favorite piece of home gym equipment? Let me know in the comments. And remember, results are king.
Best program available on the internet today.
I think it's very difficult to find a trainer like Jason that...
Since joining Everyday Heroes, I feel like I've stopped working out and actually started training.